Well, hello. Sorry for the late review. I was with the travel support in Portland with the charter plane, so a little late, but there's plenty to talk about. Started out really, really good. Beautiful goal. Montier gets it down the right hand side, puts the ball across the six, ends up to Franco Francopane. Easy finish, slots it in. And it was a great start to the game, but it's almost like we scored too early because we gave him the ball. And we didn't score too early. I mean, you got to score when you can score. But we let them have a lot of the ball after that. They just dominated possession, and it created a majority of the better chances in the first half after the goal. And then, I mean, they score the first goal, corner kick, little push off from Montier, not enough for a foul, but then he beats Chase Gasper for the header. St. Clair can't really do much about it. It's in the top right corner. I don't think Miller saves that either. And speaking about the goalie, it's just extremely unlucky for your starting goalkeeper to test positive for COVID and be ruled out of the game for that simple reason and that simple reason alone because of COVID. Just the time we're living in, I guess. So it's just really unlucky that he got COVID when he did because I love St. Clair during St. Clair, but he hasn't played in months, and you could tell he wasn't playing for Canada, obviously, because he wasn't playing for his club, and it was just you could kind of tell he was a little bit rusty. I feel like our back line feels more calm when Miller's back there. It just feels like he's more in control. Sometimes in the box is bouncing around the box and players are trying to clear it. St. Clair's trying to get it but miss it, and it's just going from Portland Timber player to another. And there's a couple times actually in the first half where the ball was bouncing around in the box like that, and you were just holding your breath, hoping that they didn't get their first, or this was before the corner kick that they scored their first goal on. So it was, yeah, after the goal is pretty poor. And to talk about the officiating, Armando Villarreal should never be able to referee a game again. The whole organization of pro referees is an absolute joke. MLS needs to find a new referee organization because these clowns do not know the rules of the game. They don't understand the simple things. They don't understand consistent infringement. They don't understand illegal things you can't do. Blanco, there's a throw out and the ball goes out of bounds. It's our ball. And then Blanco goes and we have the ball. We're going to throw it in. And Blanco has the other ball because we grabbed the ball on the side. And he just throws it onto the pitch. That you can't do that. You literally can't. You're stopping the opponent's play. It needs to be a warning. And then he picks up a yellow for one foul that he had that was definitely deserved of a yellow. But, I mean, if the dude was flopping, he's just the scum of the earth. One of the few players in MLS that you hate. And it's hilarious that Portland probably has him as their idol because if Miller was there, he saves a second goal completely by Sebastian Blanco. 100% saves that. 100% saves that. Every day of the week, I think, saves that. Every single day of the week. And because they scored right after halftime. Just right after halftime. So, yeah, 100% Miller saves that second one. St. Clair has to do better on that. That's lack of game time. He's not as big as Miller. And, yeah, just another unfortunate situation. And then Roman Montier, the turf monster, gets him for the second time in 2 years or whatever, back-to-back years. And I mean, the guy was just traveling from Madagascar and back, playing games there, and then coming back and then having to play on shitty AstroTurf. And why in God's name does Providence Park not have grass? Like, it's kind of a joke. It really is. This turf should not be allowed. It's dangerous for the players. It really is. It's just, it shouldn't be allowed. So at that point, Hassani Dotson has to come in to cover. Not ideal. Having Hassani play out of position, as I think he was going to probably come in for Will Trapp, who was on a yellow. And Chase Gasper picked up a yellow earlier on. I haven't gone back on it. Portland Timber fans should have said it should have been a red or something. And I haven't gone back and see it, but from my angle, it looked like Gasper potentially was in front of him. I don't know. I tried to go back and watch several highlights, and the highlights that they choose are just, it's laughable from the MLS, and because they don't even show the potential handball in the second half, later in the second half. But Malabi, I don't know how to spell his last name. 100% handball. His hand's right here. It's not natural. It's not natural. His hand's up here. And the fact that it doesn't even go to VAR for the ref to take a look, you have to tell him to go look at that. As the VAR ref, you do not make the decision. That is not your decision to make if it is a penalty or not a penalty. You see something that is questionable. You tell the center referee, hey, you need to look at this. This could potentially be a penalty, handball. Instead, he doesn't even go take a look. So what is VAR for? I don't know. There's no goal line technology in MLS. So is VAR only for goal line technology? Because that's simply a joke, and we're just trying to save money from these clubs when they have $1 million, $1 billion owners, and they should be paying for VAR or for goal line technology. Not that anything happened with goal line technology this game. It's just something that should be a part of the game. You should have both VAR and goal line technology, because if you have goal line technology and then the VAR is like, hey, something looks weird, one or the other could be wrong. But if you have both, you have so little of a chance to get a call wrong. But yeah. And then Sebastian Blanco scores another goal in the 66th minute. We didn't close him down. The midfield was pathetic actually tonight. Will Trapp was really bad. There was just a lot of bad passing, a lot of bad touches in the midfield. And then so in the 71st minute, Joseph Rosales comes on for Will Trapp. And Nico Hansen comes on for Adrian Hanu. The fact that Jan Gregus can't get in the midfield this whole second half of the year or whatever, just kind of got the Ibarra treatment from Heath. And there's a lot of question marks around Heath. He's tactically outplayed plenty of times throughout the year. His substitutions raise question marks. His player management is absolutely horrible. And his offensive ideology, we don't have a single clue what to do in the final third. It's get the ball to Reynoso or send a meaningless cross in to no one in the box. There's very few times where we're putting a ball in the box where there's someone there or there's more than one person there. It is mind-boggling. I understand he's gotten us to the playoffs the last 3 years, but and I know he already extended a contract, and I don't know if he's for another year or two or whatever it is. But I truly believe he is not the right manager to move us into the next where we want to be. We want to be We want to be a big club. We want to intrigue players from other countries to come play for us. We want to be one of the top teams fighting for the MLS Cup, US Open Cup, being in CONCACAF Champions League, all the above. We want to be doing these things. But I do not think Adrian Heath will be the man to lead us there. I think he doesn't get the players riled up. Like I said, his player management is abysmal, in my opinion. And I think Boxy and Alonso do a lot of the player motivating on their own. And how long are they going to be able to do that? They're both Ozzy's getting really old. Maybe another year contract would be great. Kind of taper his minutes, make sure he doesn't get overworked. We got, Hassani Dotson there too in the midfield. So, so it's just a lot of question marks, I think. But yeah, so we subbed Nico and Joseph on in the 71st minute, and honestly, at that point, it's like it's disheartening. You almost know. I mean, Nico played really good when he came on. He showed some liveliness and stuff, but it also raises questions on why we went out and bought Adrian Hanu. I'll give him another year, obviously, as the rule is. You got to give players 2 years to bet in, or a year to bet in, and then the second year is really when you're going to determine if they're going to work out or not, like Lud did. And Lud's going to be fine, but I don't really know why we went out and bought Adrian Hanu, like I said, when he typically never played as a striker by himself. I don't understand that. I really don't. Understand Ligue 1 is a different league, and MLS is a different league, but I don't. When he's more used to playing off another striker, I think that's where he's most comfortable. I don't think he's most comfortable leading the line, and some of these refs don't give him the fouls that they got the big defenders going through his back, and he's not getting a single call. There are some he got tonight, but I mean, the ref was abysmal. The yellow cards to us compared, at the end of the game, I get it. There's some bad challenges, but at one point it was 13-13 fouls. They had one, we had 3. And then after that point, we definitely conceded more of the fouls, but it's because we were trying to go for it, and I think the players were quite frustrated after Montier goes down. It was just a perfect storm for us to lose, honestly. And if we start the season with our full squad, like we always should be in the beginning of the year, you can't take a month off in the beginning of the year saying, "Oh, we're buying players. Oh, we're doing this. We go 0-4. We don't win a game, or I think it was 0-4. I can't quite remember, but 0-4 or whatever." And that's us being in a home playoff spot. And if we're home, we beat the Portland Timbers every day of the week. They're really nothing special. Really nothing special. They didn't score the 2 outside the box shots that Miller would have saved the second. Bad defending on the corner, but we rightfully so deserved a penalty. And Blanco could have easily got sent off for his antics all night. He's just a piece of shit and not a very good player, honestly. I can't wait to see them get absolutely their shit stomped in against Colorado. But there was some very nice fans in Portland. Just I don't like Blanco. That's about it. That I can't really blame too many fans. There was a few pieces of work, but that's what you're going to find in any fan base. So the nice people definitely showed through in Portland. A few of them were giving them a better name. There was a few. It was a group of fans by the away support section that was quite rude, but then there was another group of fans that was very respectful, nice. Liked a few of our chants, and were really nice after the game. Fist bumps, stuff like that, as well as several other fans. So I don't want to disrespect any of the fans. Just simply Blanco is not a very fan of. And I'll leave it at that for that. But a lot of question marks, like we talked about a little bit. A lot of puzzling decisions throughout the year. But getting the player ratings, and it'll wrap it up for the year. Great year, but disappointing end, and definitely could have been better with the group of players that we had. Hopefully, big transfer window. Hopefully, we see something of use. I don't know. There's rumors that we're after a Brazilian striker who just won the Serie B, the second division in Brazil. I'm gonna butcher the club name, so I'm not even gonna say it. It starts with a B. So you just look up Serie B and then Brazilian league. That would be the player, but it's Navarro. Is the last name. Rafael is his first, and he has scored plenty of goals in Serie B. I think was their leading goal scorer. They won the league, and from reports, we're offering him. I think it's a free contract or a free transfer, but $100,000 or $1.5 million, and then his club that he's at is being reported to offering him only $500,000 salary. So I assume he's going to come to us, and I hope it works out. Maybe he can lead the line, and we can have Hanu play off him, and then Reynoso in the midfield. I just don't know how we're going to set up if we buy a striker. I don't know about Adrian Hanu. Like I said, I'm going to give him another year before the full decision, but with that news of us trying to sign a striker, interesting. But I'll go into the player ratings. I'm going to say let's start in the back with Dane St. Clair. It's tough to come into a playoff game like this when you haven't played in months. I know he's probably always ready, and it was just the lack of game time, I think, and he's not to blame for the first nor the third, but the second he should be saving. Definitely should be saving. But I thought just at the back, it was just a little shaky all the time. But I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. It's going to be low ratings. It's because the team just did not show up today. And yeah, maybe could even go lower, but I didn't want to be too harsh on the kid. Got put in a tough situation, honestly. Roman Montier really gave it his all. Got the injury from the turf toe or the turf. I don't know what injury it was, but I think it was his hamstring actually. So not turf toe, but from the turf. It was from the turf. I'm gonna give him a 6 out of 10. Boxall. Gonna give a 4 out of 10. The Bossy. 5 out of 10. Chase Gasper. 4 out of 10. Will Trapp, a 3 out of 10. Ozzy Alonso, 4 out of 10. Franco Frangipani is my man of the match. Probably a 7 out of 10. Manuel Reynoso was very poor today. Could have scored a free kick goal. It was a good save by Clark. If he puts it a little bit more to the left, I think Reynoso scores that too. So we could have had this game even without Miller, but I mean they dominated us. We didn't have any right to win the game. But I mean, if Reynoso's free kick goes in, it just needs to be a little bit better. It was a really hard shot, really hard to save, honestly. That goes in. Never know. Lord had a little back heel flick that, I mean, it just unluckily went right to to Clark. But and we get a penalty for sure for the handball if it goes to VAR. I mean, anyone in the right mind can see it his hand. Doesn't matter if it's right here. You're making your body bigger, but if your hand goes out here, you're making your body bigger. It's an unnatural position. Up here, unnatural. Yeah, unnatural position is just mind blowing. But Reynoso, I'm gonna give him a 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10 was not very good. Robin Ludd, 4 out of 10 as well. And Adrian Hanu, a 3 out of 10. Or, yeah, a 2 out of 10. He was extremely poor tonight. I don't want to be too harsh on everyone because I'm going to support them till they die, till they leave. I'm going to support the boys till we die. But Sonny Dotson, I thought he did actually pretty well. So, offensively, stepping in defensively, he was kind of caught out a lot. But I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. Joseph Rosales, a 4 out of 10. And Nico Hansen, a 5 out of 10. Nico looked pretty good coming on. It was a shame that he didn't get more playing time this year, I think. I like Ethan Finley right off the bench. And, yeah, Ethan Finley had a concussion, so he's usually first off our bench. It was super unfortunate timing and disappointing. But I think that's going to be it for me. Thank you for watching. If you watched at all this year, thank you. Means a lot. Just like to talk about the Loons, get my opinions out, but thank you, and we will see you next year, or I will see you next year. As always, come on, you Loons, and I think I'm going to be cheering for Colorado now the rest of the playoffs. So it'd be a cool underdog story. So hopefully they maybe win. We'll just be cool to see an underdog win that hadn't spent that much money. Gotta go for the underdog. Can't speak English too hard, but underdog story. Tired from the trip yesterday, so we're gonna leave it at that. A lot of questions this offseason, a lot of questions. So a lot of work to do. But as always, come on, you Loons, and thanks for tuning in.